So, while we are discussing about the synapse, we have mentioned about one type of chemical known by the name neurotransmitter. Here you can see that. Here the synaptic vesicle will be releasing some molecule, and these molecules are known by the name neurotransmitter. Here also you can see that. These are the vesicles, and these vesicles will be releasing certain chemicals, and these chemicals are molecules are known by the name neurotransmitter. So this neurotransmitter will be attaching with the receptor on the surface of the postsynaptic membrane and producing an action potential there. So this is how the impulse will be transmitted from one neuron to another neuron. Now here we have to discuss what are the different types of neurotransmitters which are normally used by different organisms. So they are endogenous chemical. What is endo means? Endo means inside, produced by our own body. That is the meaning of the word endogenous, produced within our own body or our own cells. So that enable neurotransmission. What is neurotransmission? Transfer of impulse from one neuron to another neuron, or transfer of action potential from one neuron to another neuron. It is a type of chemical messenger which transmits signal across a synapse, chemical synapse. Here we have been seeing that the chemical messages are transferred from presynaptic neuron to postsynaptic neuron, or from axon to dendron. So that is how the neurotransmitter will be working. And I have also told you that this neurotransmitter will be attaching to the receptor molecule, receptor proteins which are present on the surface of the dendrite or postsynaptic neuron. So neurotransmitter are released from synaptic vesicle. There is some problem with this mouse. Okay. Here you can see that the neurotransmitters are released from synaptic vesicle. Here you can see the photograph of a synaptic vesicle. These are the these are known as a synaptic vesicle. Then what they are doing, they will be crossing this synaptic gap or synaptic cleft, and will be attaching with this receptor molecule here, and thereby producing action potential there. So this is the main mechanism of chemical transfer. Then many neurotransmitters are synthesized from simple, plentiful precursor such as amino acid, which are readily available in the diet and only require a small number of biosynthetic steps for conversion. What that is sentence is saying that most of the neurotransmitter are produced from substances like amino acid. Okay, so in the use of this amino acid, you can see that they will be slightly modified by a chemical mechanism, and that will be converted into a a neurotransmitter. That is how the neurotransmission is mainly working. There are around 200 different type of neurotransmitters in our body. That is the total number of neurotransmitters which are available in our body. Now, when the projector comes alive, you can see that these neurotransmitters are adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, acetylcholine, glutamate, and endorphin. So around different type of neurotransmitters are there, and each of these neurotransmitters have their own function. So for example, some of the important type of neurotransmitters are actually can be classified. Certain are amino acid. Under the category of amino acid, we have different type of neurotransmitters are there. One is glutamate, aspartate. So these are all belonging to amino acid. Another type of neurotransmitters are gasotransmitters, because they will be gas molecule like carbon monoxide or hydrogen sulfide or nitric oxide. So that is the second category of neurotransmitter which we call by the name gasotransmitter. Then there is a third category known by the name monoamines. So in the case of monoamines, mono means one. Amines mean having one amino group. So in the case of many molecules that are dopamine, norepinephrine or noradrenaline or adrenaline, histamine, serotonin, only one type of one amino group will be present. So such chemicals are classified as monoamines. Then another category is trace amines. Trace means very low. That is these amines means compounds having amino group. So these trace amines will be, for example, phenylethylamine, tyramine, then octapamine, tryptamine. So these are some of the amino amines because they contain amino group. So because they contain amino groups, we call it by the name the amines. So there are certain type of amines which are needed by the body in very minute quantity. So they are known as trace amines. Another category of neurotransmitter are peptides. Peptides are smaller protein molecules. When protein molecules are cut into smaller pieces, each piece is known by the name of peptide. So some of the neurotransmitter are actually smaller proteins and they are classified as peptides. Number of examples are there. For example, cocaine. Cocaine, the drug known as cocaine, it is a neurotransmitter. That is why it is able to change the way the person is thinking. It is influencing our brain. Then amphetamine. Amphetamine is also a drug. Then somatostatin, it's a type of hormone. Then substance P, another neurotransmitter. So different type of neurotransmitters are there which are basically peptides. Then another category is purine. For example, while studying about the nucleic acid, you have studied about sugar, purine and pyrimidines you might have studied. That purines are there. Under that category we have ATP and adenosine. Then another category is other groups under which acetylcholine and anandamide are coming. So coming to the major chemical categories of neurotransmitter, we can see that there are large number of neurotransmitters are there. These neurotransmitters are belonging to different, for example, one is amino acid, another is gasotransmitter, another is monoamines, trace amines, peptides, purines and other categories. So there are about 7 different categories of neurotransmitters are there, and we can also see that the neurotransmitter, there are certain important type of neurotransmitter. For example, adrenaline. Adrenaline is a type of neurotransmitter about which you might have studied. It is sometimes known as flight or fight neurotransmitter. For example, if somebody is angry with you, somebody is coming to attack you, somebody is shouting at you, then your body will be producing a lot of chemicals inside. Mainly these chemicals are because of the action of release of adrenaline by your body. and that adrenaline prepare you for a fighting with that person. If there is no possibility of fighting and winning, then you will be running away. So either fighting or flight. Flight means escaping away. So in such situation, our body is preparing you either to fight or to run away for safety. So that kind of neurotransmitters are known as flight or fight neurotransmitters. In any case, the purpose of this neurotransmitter is survival of the person or survival of the individual. Another neurotransmitter is known as noradrenaline. So in this noradrenaline, they are known as concentration neurotransmitter. So from the word itself that you can understand the meaning, what is a concentration neurotransmitter. So in case of concentration neurotransmitter, you can see that they increase the concentration. For example, if you have a deficiency of noradrenaline, your ability for concentration may be less. So that will be reduced. Then we have dopamine. Dopamine is popularly known by the name pleasure neurotransmitter. So for example, in some one person, there is not sufficient quantity of dopamine released by its brain. Then problem is that that person may look very dull, very moody, not happy, always very sad, because the biochemical setup is not there. There are a lot of factors that makes a person happy, but if your biochemical environment in the brain is not suitable, then you may not be able to experience happiness in your day-to-day life. So that situation, and that is why dopamine is considered as, so more amount of dopamine means the person may be experiencing more happiness. So in people with more, which are who are seen as more happy, if you check their dopamine content, we can notice that there is a higher level of dopamine in their brain. So dopamine is increasing the happiness level of the person. More dopamine means more happiness, less dopamine means less happiness. Then another is serotonin. Serotonin is considered as a mood neurotransmitter. Because from the word itself you can understand. Because it is controlling your various mood. Whether in what kind of emotional situation, in what kind of emotional stage you are going to be. So that is why it is known as serotonin. So this serotonin and dopamine level is an important part of maintaining your biochemical happiness or biochemical health. So because if these two chemicals are not in ideal optimal level, that will be influencing the way the person is thinking, the person is feeling, his approach to life. For example, people with a psychiatric problem. Sometimes if you check their biochemical concentration of these various neurotransmitters, there will be differences. Sometimes some people are genetically programmed to be unhappy. The reason is that their dopamine and serotonin may not be in a suitable way for a happy life. Then GABA is there. GABA, G-A-B-A, GABA. It is considered as a calming neurotransmitter. C-A-L-M, calming neurotransmitter. The term is very clear because it keep the body in a relaxed situation. So the release of this GABA from the brain will keep your body in a comfortable, in a relaxed situation. That is why we call it by the name calming neurotransmitter. Then another is known as acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is popularly known by the name learning neurotransmitter. The main function is that it helps in learning. So if deficiency of acetylcholine in the brain can interfere with the learning as well as other activities of the person. So that is why learning neurotransmitters are there. Then another is the glutamate. In case of glutamate, it is known as a memory neurotransmitter. Memory, you know that glutamate is considered to be an important part of our body because it is controlling your memory. That is why glutamate is known as a memory neurotransmitter because it is influencing the way it is influencing the memory of our past events. Then endorphin is a type of chemical. Endorphins are known as euphoria neuron. Euphoria means a high level of happiness, extreme happiness. So for example, some people will be taking drugs because they want this euphoria, because they will be these drugs will be releasing lot of endorphins from your body. So that is why these molecules are known as euphoria neurotransmitter. Endorphin also have the capacity of reducing your pain. So endorphin is a kind of pleasure of neurotransmitter. It creates a feeling of happiness. It creates a feeling of pleasure in your body. So that is why there, for example, when you do a lot of exercise, that will be helping in release of endorphin, and that makes your body feel good. So these are known as the pleasure neurotransmitter or endorphin, because it is increasing the way the person is thinking. Okay, here you can find the different type of neurotransmitter. If there is any mistake with your spelling, you can correct that also. So these are the various type of neurotransmitter. So these are the various type of neurotransmitter that we have discussed so far. Adrenaline is there, noradrenaline is there, dopamine is there, serotonin is there, GABA, acetylcholine, glutamate, and endorphin. And about two molecules, these are the major categories of neurotransmitter, which I have been telling earlier. There are 7 categories, 7 biochemical categories are there. There are amino acid, gasotransmitter, monoamines, trace amines, peptide, purine, and others. Now, about two chemicals, it is mentioned in your syllabus that one is known as a dopamine. Okay, one is known as a dopamine and other is known. So in the case of dopamine, it is a neurotransmitter released by the brain that plays a number of roles in human and other animal. For example, here you can see the important functions of dopamine. Dopamine is involved in movement, memory, pleasurable reward, behavior and cognition. Cognition means higher way of thinking, attention, inhibition of prolactin production. Prolactin is a milk producing hormone, sleep, mood, learning. So here you can see that dopamine has number of functions in your body. They are controlling memory, they are controlling your pleasure, they are controlling the various behavioral activities, they are controlling your attention. So any decrease in dopamine from its ideal optimum level will be leading to severe deficiency in your life. You may not be able to enjoy the life. So that may be the problem with certain psychiatric people. They are genetically like that because their body, their brain may not be releasing enough amount of dopamine as well as serotonin. So these hormones, this neurotransmitter can create problems in your body. So if doctors are able to identify this dopamine level, deficiency of dopamine level is a problem, they can prescribe drug that increase the dopamine level. Then we have another category is that, so here you can find how dopamine is influencing, this is a synaptic picture of a synapse. The dopamine, it is a neurotransmitter, it is being released. It will be captured by dopamine receptor and dopamine receptor will be producing the appropriate action potential. Then another here is the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is also a neurotransmitter. So it is a neurotransmitter in the brain and body of many types of animals, including, because you might have heard about acetylcholine many times in your earlier classes. So it is a name derived from its chemical structure. It is an ester of acetic acid and choline. That is why ester means a combination. So So in the case of here, acetic acid is there and choline is there. These two molecules combine together to form a molecule known as acetylcholine. That's how. So the parts in the body that use or are affected by acetylcholine are known as cholinergic. That is, certain areas of your body. When acetylcholine is released from your body, or mainly from your brain, that will be influencing certain regions of your body. Those regions are known as cholinergic because they are controlled or regulated by the release of acetylcholine. Then substances that interfere with acetylcholine activity are known as anticholinergic. Some of the molecules which are produced or entering your body can interfere with the functioning of acetylcholine. Such molecules are known as anticholinergic. Then it serves as a transmitter substance of nerve impulse within central as well as peripheral neuron. Central nervous system means your brain and spinal cord. These are the main areas of your nervous system. Then whatever neurons which are present on your skin or the various outer side of your body, the skin mainly about down the near to skin, are coming under the peripheral. Peripheral means outside. But the outer side of the neurons are coming under the peripheral nervous system. So here in the case of acetylcholine, it is a neurotransmitter for the both central nervous system as well as peripheral nervous system. Then it is a chief neurotransmitter of parasympathetic nervous system. There are two divisions of nervous system. One is sympathetic nervous system and another is parasympathetic nervous system. And they are working in opposite manner. If one sympathetic is increasing in activity, parasympathetic may be decreasing that activity. So that is also a type of nervous system. The part of the autonomic nervous system that contracts smooth muscle, dilate blood vessel, increase bodily secretion and slowing of the heart rate are all under the control of acetylcholine. So here you can notice that acetylcholine is a very important neurotransmitter because if it is not released in sufficient quantity, that can increase the functioning of the various parts of your body. So that is why acetylcholine is considered to be an important neurotransmitter. Remember what is cholinergic and what is anticholinergic also. Then there is one more neurotransmitter, that is adrenaline. About adrenaline, I have given you an idea already. Adrenaline is a flight or fight neurotransmitter. Now it is adrenaline is also known by the epinephrine. So either you can use the term adrenaline or epinephrine. Is a neurotransmitter that also serves as hormones. They belong to the class of compounds known as catecholamines. The chemical nature of adrenaline is known as a catecholamine. They are coming under a group of chemicals known by the name catecholamines. As a hormone, they influence the different parts of your body and stimulate your central nervous system. Central nervous system means your brain and spinal cord. So that is one way adrenaline is influencing your body is by influencing or controlling your brain and spinal cord. It plays an important role in the fight or flight response by increasing blood flow to the muscle. For example, if somebody is coming and you feel that your life is threatened, there are two possibilities: either to overpower that person, then the strength of your leg muscle, strength of your hand muscle are all very important. So what body is doing? Body will be giving more blood to those muscles. That is by increasing blood flow to the muscle. Output of the heart. Similarly, if more blood has to reach these leg and hands, the heart should pump more amount of blood. So the heart output will be increasing. Pupil dilation response. The pupil will be dilating so that you will be able to collect maximum, your vision will be improving. Then blood sugar level. Blood sugar level will be increasing so that your body will very strong, very powerful at that time. So that is how the blood sugar level is being influenced by adrenaline. It does this by binding to alpha and beta receptor. So there are different receptors for binding within our body for responding to adrenaline. These receptors are known as alpha and beta receptors. So basically, adrenaline, it is a neurotransmitter as well as a hormone, and in both cases it is influencing your body, especially your brain and spinal cord. And why? And adrenaline will be causing an increase in the release of blood, increase in the supply of blood to your leg muscles. More blood will be released from heart. Your pupils will be dilating. The sugar level in your body will be increasing. So overall, that adrenaline will be preparing your body for any kind of physical emergency. So during any kind of physical emergency, at more, for example, if you are feeling that your life is at risk, so immediately lot of adrenaline will be released. So it has an important role in ensuring the survival of the person. So that is why it is a flight or a fight neurotransmitter. We can also call it as an emergency neurotransmitter. So this is an idea regarding various type of neurotransmitter, and dopamine is one, then acetylcholine is another. Then you have to see what are the general categories of neurotransmitter. These are some a brief outline of what are the various type of neurotransmitter. Then this is this paragraph describing what are neurotransmitter and what is neurotransmission, how neurotransmitter are working.